How the turntables and how
Yeah.
we find ourselves in quite the
Pickle.
predicament. The pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. A pickle would be a word for it.
Well,
Yeah.
before we even get into it, how are you
Yeah,
doing,
please.
Mr. Nobody?
Well, as you know, because you've been going through this longer than I have, but I've only been content creator for 2 months, and I didn't think because of my anonymity, or at least the assumed one, that my actual identity would be exposed. But I have rolled with the punches, and thankfully, a lot of people in your community and even newcomers, they like there are people that have never watched your live stream. They're like, "Oh yeah, I know about nobody," and "Oh yeah, you're Jay. Yeah, we don't give a shit. You're still nobody." I'm like,
Right, right.
that's the
Well, I will
weirdest
tell you,
compliment anyone could ever give. You're still nobody.
you're still a nobody. Well, I will
You're
tell you,
still a nobody. So
you've had
Jay Watt is
quite the
gay, apparently.
yeah, right.
So, but the community decides that so it's been a fun ride. I will say today threw me for a little bit of a loop because wow, a whole lot of assumptions in this document, and that was the confusing part because they could have just DM'd her lawyer, just could have DM'd me. And then like, oh, no, here it is. Like
Mhm,
it's not
mhm.
that deep. it's it's re- it's really not that deep. They think that there's this whole conspiracy that you've been um I don't know if, I know that Dog on a Train said that you were funding me, apparently.
Oh, that's a new one.
Uh
Well, we don't even know who Dog on a Train is, so I wouldn't worry about that person because
yeah.
that could just be a
I mean,
troll.
I have my
Oh no,
suspicions.
to be clear, I have my
Yeah,
suspicions as well, but
yeah,
it's probably best to not name
right.
people that
Yeah,
we don't know. So,
right.
let me say it this way. First off, welcome to content creation. I don't think I've ever seen a new creator get thrown into the tsunami of this shit show more than you ever. And you are,
Ryan Rogers is gonna have a field day with all of his notes in his little book,
I'm
just on me.
sure.
So,
I'm
um,
sure.
no, the
Well,
thing
you're
is, like,
handling it like a champ, though. You're doing really well despite all the things that are happening.
I
You're
mean,
taking it in stride.
yeah, I mean, I've had my little freakouts here and there, but
Mhm.
once you settle into it, you go, okay, that's just the new thing. That's just it.
Mhm.
Once you settle into it, it's kind of like it, what's the term I should probably use? It's kind of like I've never rode a horse before, but I'm guessing it's kind of like a new horse. You're getting used to it. You're riding it, and then once you kind of accept it, you're like, okay, you kind of suck, but you're better than the last one.
Yep.
Oh wait, actually, the last one was better. I was anonymous, but you know what? This is the horse I have now.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a journey, and of course, got to maintain the brand,
Mhm.
um, doxed or not, and
Well, that's important that you make that distinction because that ultimately they're trying to create a narrative around you where the reality is this is your brand. They're trying to make it out to be something that it's like more nefarious. It's like,
I
no,
know that's
you
the
are trying to
weirdest
be an
thing.
anonymous person. And it's almost like a joke at this point where it's like, oh, I'm not, but I
Yeah, like
am.
that. Like the thing is, like they're like, oh, Smash JT deceived his audience, and then pretty much the audience, it sounds like, kind of had an idea already,
Mhm.
and and
Oh
once
yeah,
it was
no,
revealed, they're like,
there were some
oh
people that
yeah,
I've seen in the chat back before you unveiled who you were that were like, "Hey, is that Jay Watt? Is
yeah,
that person?" And I just ignored them because I'm like, well, I know you said you wanted to remain anonymous, but like it was
and the way that
pretty
this
obvious people were like picking up on it. I'm like,
the way this document presents itself is saying that we were trying to manipulate the audience, and no, what you were doing was just respecting my privacy. That's it.
mhm, mhm.
And that's all it was. Like it's very strange how they presented this.
This is what really pissed me off here, because they're trying to portray me as a liar, which, like I said, this is defamatory in nature to me and my brand now, where they're now
Yeah.
putting this in a document saying his pattern and practice of lying. And I'm like, whoa, now people are going to read that and be like, oh, we can't trust this person. The person that we used to trust is there's a legal document that's calling him a pattern and practice of lying type person. And I'm like,
Oh.
what?
Okay. You want your mind blown here for a second?
What's that?
So let me put in the private chat just so you can copy and paste. So you know how to control F to look through a document, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Put that in there. Because this is how they get away with
27
it.
times. 27 times.
But look on, so this is what I noticed because it was in reference to me. They say on information and belief, which is them saying speculating.
Mm-hmm. Which is new because I don't think the other one said this, at least not nearly this much. I'd remember this.
So this is them guessing because they clearly don't know. And the thing is, like, saying that we have a relationship is a stretch. You're a guy that helped me out. I'm a mod, and there is some separation there. Like,
Mhm.
would I consider you like a mentor? No. But I mean, obviously, you're something that I would look up to in the sense of like, okay, here's something I learned from. I mean, you probably saw that with my dissertation video when
Mhm.
I went, hey, don't sue me. This is fair use and all that jazz. But when I saw this, and I saw this several times on information and belief, I'm like,
Like, look,
wait a
look at
minute.
this. Look at this. They say, Tarsier posted on his Discord under the name Smash JT with a profile picture of the logo he uses for his website and YouTube channel. And it's a picture of me saying, hey, there we go. And it
Oh
says
no.
figure 14, his first
Oh,
post.
in
Like,
2018, how
it's
dare you
2018
make a first
when
post,
my
Smash?
Discord had like me and like three other people, and the three other people didn't even write anything. It was like, why do I even have this?
I know. Like you're just like, oh, this might be a thing, and now you barely like look. And the thing is, you've said this on stream, like, dude, it's hard to pay attention to what's going on Discord. And no, here's actually something they literally say in the lawsuit when they start mentioning me. By the way, I mentioned so Hypno is mentioned 15 times. I mentioned 75 with my real name.
75?
Yeah, I am 12 pages of this new thing. 12 or 13 or 12 and a half, something like that.
Why? Like, what? Why?
I've only made 2 videos about her, but what they do is that I used a pseudonym on Reddit. Crust. By the way, they fuck it up like 3 times. So they say Krusty Sock YT, Krusty the Sock, and I'm like, no, it's Krusty the Sock YT. But no, that was before I rebranded the channel. Like that was my name. So I've been promoting my videos on Reddit to the best of my ability, and
Mhm.
I am not very good at Reddit. But they mentioned several times that, oh, he's been mentioning he's been trying to promote his videos on right-wing sites. I'm like, I'm a YouTuber.
Mhm.
I want to promote my videos to the
Wait,
people
hold
that
on.
are most likely to
Reddit is
watch
a
it.
right wing, right? Reddit's a right wing site. Are they starting to say?
No. Right wing like subreddits. Like there's a subreddit called Kotaku in Action.
Okay, I've
Um,
heard of that one. Yeah.
By the way, they said no to me at first just because I didn't know how to Reddit and I didn't read the
Mhm.
rules. And
Oh
apparently
no,
there's
Reddit is confusing as hell. I gave up on it because I tried to self promote on it a long time ago, and I kept getting it up, and I'm just like, this isn't even worth it.
dude.
So
I actually looked up. I tried to SEO the shit out of your name, and you were actually way hard to find. Like no one like on Reddit gives a shit about you.
I've
Like they
noticed
really
that.
don't.
I've noticed
Um,
that.
no, so no, like the thing is like they say it's like, oh, he goes on right wing shit, and I actually promoted myself on Asmongold stream. So if you actually control F, I'm not in like the usual the lines here, but if you control F, you put in Asmongold, he shows up in one of the sources of me promoting myself. That
Nowotny
oh
immediately
wait, no, okay.
used Krusty Sock YouTube Reddit account to post the linked dissertation video in several right-wing
Yep,
and
here it is.
general interest gaming subreddits, including r/anti-woke gaming, r/Kotaku in action, r/libs of Reddit, r/sweet baby ink detected, and r/gaming news. Which, by the way, just because they politically may disagree with a political stance, that's not illegal for you to do. Like, what?
No, and the
What
thing
is
is,
the what is the
so
point
here's
of that
the
they're trying to prove with this, though?
yeah, well, here's the weird thing. It's like the thing is they're trying to make this connection between because they even say that if you put in the word direction, if you
Mhm.
control F that, they try to assume that you are directing all of my movements essentially. And I'm like,
Wait,
no.
what?
Yeah,
On information and belief, Nowotny made these Reddit posts at Tarzia's direction
direction. Yep.
for the shared purpose of influencing other gaming content creators. What?
You have never ever
I didn't even know
ever
you posted on Reddit.
But it's my content. You wouldn't give a shit.
Right.
It's see, this is the thing that really like I want to, and I've you know when this all came out, when you posted this stuff, I was trying to rattle my brain a little bit, being like, how do you jump to this conclusion? They could have DM'd me. They literally could have at any point in time. I would have been completely honest, being like, yeah,
No,
done. Here's what happened.
they don't want that because that would blow holes in their story they're trying to manufacture. So they don't
Yeah,
want the truth from you. They want to be able to create their own headcanon and then throw that at the judge like, "Oh, we believe that this is what's happening." It's like based off of what?
I know,
What?
but
What? Where is this even coming from?
yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff Tarzia. I'm gonna ask you a serious question here. Uh, damn it, I don't have my salt, so I can pretend to
Uh-oh.
do blow. Um, did you ever direct me to post anything on Reddit? Have you ever directed me to make any sort of content
I've never
ever, or
directed you
did
to do anything ever. Like
exactly? That's
anything. Like,
never happened.
let's not limit
I
it to
was
Reddit. Like I've never directed
Yeah,
you to do
right?
anything.
No, no, and the thing is, like, and the thing is, I think they're going off of that dog on a train. I mean, I still have my, we're not going to say this on this stream on our suspicions
Mhm.
on certain people, but, no, they mentioned the gifts and go thing as well. And they also mention it in a very weird sense because it took me a second to remember, but no, I closed down the gifts and go. Like what? I think after a month or two, it's like, oh, because I was still getting emails from them, and there's no donation. So I'm like, well, this is unpublished. Like, why would I keep this up? And the thing is, you made that gifts and go just
I
help
mean,
me out a little bit.
that was a very natural course of events. Like you liked
Yeah,
my channel, you sent me a t-shirt, and then I found out that you were literally homeless and I
I
wanted to
know.
do something nice for you. So I created
Yeah.
what was it? A Give Send Go or GoFundMe? I can't remember
It was a
what it
gifts and
was.
go.
A Give
I
Send
believe
Go.
you donated $100, but the rest of the
Mhm.
community did. So I think it totaled like a 480 to $490, and
And this is
you know
before I
it.
even knew anything about you. It was just
Yeah,
you sent me a t-shirt and I wanted to do something nice back for you because I heard
no.
about the struggle you
What
had.
well, here's exactly what happened. Is that the thing is, like the entire time I was watching you, I was homeless, and a lot of that was me just listening through my headphones at the time, and me walking from the from where I was working to the homeless shelter, and I'd listen to your video that day. And by the time I got there, your live stream would be on, and uh, and the thing is, I'd listen to your live stream, but I didn't want you to know I was homeless. But so when I made a super chat at one point, being like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I've been homeless for 7 months, but I'm about to get into a place, and
I remember
everything's
that, by the
good."
way. I
Yeah,
remember
and the
when you
thing
said
is,
that. I was like, "Whoa, what?"
yeah, like,
Yep.
and the thing is, you DM'd me and was like, "Hey, what's your story?" And by the way, we've
How,
almost
by the
got,
way, I mean, we're telling this literally step by step what happened. How
yeah.
is anything nefarious here? Like, what the hell?
Well,
Like,
no, the thing is,
how
like,
can you even send this in a bad
that's kind of the
way?
point. Well, the thing is, they're trying to make this conspiracy of you like being connected to me and funding me. It's like, no, you just set up a guess and go, and you donated $100. That was basically it. Because and let's be like a little bit more transparent here.
Mhm.
I've probably donated more to you than you did on the gifts and go for me. Like it,
Probably.
like
I'd say it's
yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Oh, by
Yeah.
far.
I'd
Because
say it's,
remember,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, all right. So let's do the math here, Alyssa
Mhm.
Mercante and your lawyers.
Oh,
So
no, they
let
don't care about the road going
oh
2
yeah, they
ways.
don't
They
care.
just want it to
Yeah,
look
that's right.
bad one way, and they don't wanna hear the other information.
Oh, oh yeah, I do know that. You want to know why?
Mm,
Control F.
mhm.
Is homeless ever mentioned once? My homeless content ever mentioned
Nope,
once?
nope,
Nope.
nothing.
Nothing. So yeah, when you talk about a narrative definitely being painted here, that is definitely true because remember, and if anyone here wants to look at my content, before I made anything about Alyssa Mercante, I made homeless content while I was homeless, and
Mhm,
I edited at a library. So I was already anonymous before Smash JT even knew me.
mhm.
So like their narrative is the and the thing is like Smash like if her lawyers contacted me, I probably would have let you know and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be completely honest," and you would probably would be like, "Okay."
I I
Yeah.
as I've said from day one, I have nothing to hide with any of this. Her case is ridiculous, so
No, it's
they can
no, they're
contact who they want, but it's not gonna
but
do
so
anything.
yeah, that's the reason why I said so when you look so when I said to look at when they say on information and belief, that is
Mhm,
literally them not either not revealing their sources or
mhm.
making shit up or believing
I
their
I would say
unreliable client.
I would say they're making shit up and they're saying both things to try to spin it as a, oh, we could have some information on this. So you don't know where we're getting it from. It's like, no, this, you're just making this shit up. Because I'm reading through it. I'm like, where would you even get that? And if you do have information on it, your sources are flawed because this is not accurate or true at all.
Incredibly flawed. It like no, this is such a misinterpretation of what happened. And the thing is, Alyssa Mercante's
Even
lawyers, if you
even well, let me interrupt you real quick.
yeah,
Even with the misinterpretation of it, it still isn't even bad. I'm like, what is bad here? What I'm reading it, I'm like, uh-huh. Even if this is true, none of this is illegal.
even
They're
at the
trying
same time, they mention the gifts and go, but they don't mention why.
of course not. Of course
Yeah,
not. What I think
it
what they're doing right now is they're trying to spin it to make it sound as bad as possible to the judge so that when the judge reads this, the judge is like, well, damn, I gotta hear this case because this is a lot of accusations.
yeah.
And then when it actually goes to anything, is when it's gonna be like the whole case is gonna fall apart. Be like, what is any of this? You've made all these claims. What do you even have here?
That's why I'm so confused. That's why I was kind of fighting to be on the stream. I mean, I'm my name is going to be here all over the place. People are going to look me up, and
Mhm.
I have to let my brother know, my dad know what's kind of going on now. By the way, uh, don't get on my dad's property. It's not going to go well for you.
Well,
Um,
we'll try to avoid the threats on stuff, but with
yeah,
the situation that transpired today, and for full interest of full disclosure,
yeah.
we chatted in DMs today, and you were like,
Mhm.
"Hey, are you going to talk about it tonight? I'd love to come on your stream." And I was like, "I might, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to come on based
Oh,
off of
absolutely.
what just
That
happened." You were
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I get it," and we both understood that. But
And
as
then
we're
fuck, I even doubled down. I'm like, I'm not even gonna show up on the chat. And
Mhm.
but I talked to a few people in our inner for people that we talked to, and they looked at me and like, you gonna let her win this? And I go,
No,
what do you mean? And
that's exactly my mentality with it, which is why I'm like, that's why I'm talking about it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna let her
yeah,
win and just stop talking about it.
yeah. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. One, I love modding for the channel,
Mhm,
and two, what do you have on me? What like the thing is, Alyssa, like if this is your plan, okay, so now you and your lawyers didn't mention my homelessness at the time. So now get to make your lawyers and you feel worse and look worse because I get to explain that I was 7 months homeless. I get to show you the bed that I was living on. I get to show you where I was living. I get to show you how I walk to work every day. So now you get to see the quote unquote victim
mhm,
that you want to be. So, and I don't consider myself victim. I'm just someone that made, I made a bad choice or two, and I didn't manage my finances very well at the time.
mhm.
That's it.
Yeah,
So,
but it sounds like that sounds like accountability right there. That's amazing. Where you're
yeah,
like,
no
"Hey,
shit.
I didn't make the right choices. I gotta be better." That's amazing. Uh, and
Man, if
looking at
only
this
someone can learn those lessons.